All right, let's dive into a skill that can seriously change your life. I'm talking about boosting your career, making your relationship stronger, and just changing the whole way you move through the world. We are talking about mastering communication.
You ever been in a room where someone starts talking and everything just stops? They're not famous, they're not some big shot CEO, but when they speak, people listen. You feel connected to them, you trust them. That right there isn't just a skill, it's a superpower. And today, we're going to learn how to unlock it. So, how do we get there? Well, we've got a 4-part game plan. First, we have to build the foundation. That means mastering our own inner world. Then, we're going to fill up our communicator's toolkit with some absolutely essential skills. After that, we'll get into the advanced stuff, how to use these tools when things get tricky. And finally, we'll zero in on the ultimate goal, making sure every single word you say actually matters. Okay, let's start with the most important step of all, mastering your inner world. Look, before you can connect with anyone else, you have to be connected with yourself. This is the bedrock. Everything else is built on top of this. And the first pillar of that foundation is empathy. Picture this. You tell a friend you're feeling stressed. One friend says, don't worry about it. The other one looks at you and says, wow, that sounds incredibly stressful. Who do you feel closer to? The second friend, right? Of course. Empathy isn't about fixing things. It's about making someone feel seen and heard. It is the absolute glue of human connection. Next up, emotional intelligence. And really, this all comes down to one crucial thing, the difference between reacting and responding. A reaction? That's your gut. It's automatic. Someone criticizes your idea in a meeting and you just snap back. A response, though, is a choice. You take a breath, you think about it, and you reply with intention. One of these burns bridges, the other builds them. So, how do you actually train yourself to respond instead of react? It's all about the 3-second rule. Seriously, the moment you feel that emotional trigger, just pause. 1, 2, 3. In that tiny little gap, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Is it anger? Is it insecurity? And then, what response is actually going to help me here? That little pause can literally change everything. And that leads us to vulnerability. We're all taught to hide our struggles, to see vulnerability as some kind of weakness. But in communication, it's a super connector. Think about a speaker who gets on stage and says, 5 years ago, my life fell apart. What happens? The entire audience leans in. They don't see weakness. They see courage. They see a real person. And that's a story that truly connects. All right, we've laid the internal foundation. Now it's time to build the rest of the house. Let's open up the communicator's toolkit and grab the practical, hands-on skills that create real influence and connection. Let's kick this off with a mind-blowing fact. You have just 7 seconds. Yup. In the time it takes you to walk into a room, someone has already formed a 70% opinion of you. That means you're communicating way before you even open your mouth. Think about it. Your body language is your opening line. Imagine 2 people showing up for a job interview. One walks in, shoulders slumped, avoiding eye contact, fidgeting. The other one walks in with their head held high, a warm smile, and direct eye contact. Who already has the job? It's not even a competition. Master your nonverbals, and you've basically won half the battle before you've said a word. Next tool in the box? Oh, it's a big one. It's the most powerful communication tool ever invented, storytelling. See, facts and figures, they talk to our logical brain. But stories? Stories speak directly to our emotions. You'll forget a statistic in 5 minutes, but a good story, you'll remember that for years. Just look at the story of Sam. He's a boy from a poor village, no electricity, but he dreams of being a doctor. So every single night, he studies under the one working streetlight while his neighbors make fun of him. Fast forward 10 years, he comes back to that village as a doctor and ends up saving the lives of the very same people who laughed at him. See? That story doesn't just tell you about perseverance, it makes you feel it. Okay, here's a super simple one, but it's incredibly powerful. Use people's names. Just think about when you're getting coffee. What feels better? A generic, have a good one, or have a good one, Sarah? That tiny little change makes Sarah feel seen, acknowledged, important. It's such a small effort for such a huge return. Now, this next one, it's called echoing, and it's kind of a secret weapon for showing you're listening. Your friend says, "Ugh, I am so overwhelmed at work." All you have to do is gently repeat back, "Overwhelmed at work?" That's it. You're not solving anything. You're just holding up a mirror to what they said, which signals you're locked in and invites them to say more. It's magic. And finally, let's talk about your voice. Your voice is an instrument. Speaking in a monotone is like playing one note over and over again. It's boring. But when you modulate, when you raise your pitch for excitement, when you slow down for emphasis, and when you use pauses for dramatic effect, suddenly your voice becomes music. A well-timed pause can make a simple sentence feel incredibly profound.
Okay, so we've got our inner foundation sorted and our toolkit is full. Now it's time to level up. Let's get into some advanced techniques for those specific, tricky situations where great communication really makes a difference.
Have you ever had to deal with someone who just will not take no for an answer? The broken record technique is going to be your best friend. Imagine a really pushy salesperson. You don't have to argue or explain yourself. You just calmly and firmly say, "Thank you, but I'm not interested." They keep pushing. You repeat, "Thank you, but I'm not interested." The key is the calm, steady tone. By the third time, they get it. You're a brick wall. Next up, humor. Humor is your secret weapon for breaking tension. You're in a meeting, it's getting tense, people are arguing. A well-placed, lighthearted comment like, "Well, I think we've successfully explored every way this could possibly go wrong. So now for the easy part," can completely change the energy in the room. Suddenly, everyone breathes out and a solution feels possible again.
Now, the key is to use humor smartly. The easiest way? Laugh at yourself. If you trip on your way to give a presentation, a little joke like, "And that was my dramatic entrance," instantly makes you more human and relatable. The number one rule, though, punch up, not down. Make fun of yourself or the situation, but never, ever at someone else's expense. So we've journeyed from the inside out. We've looked at our internal mindset, our external tools, and our advanced tactics. Now, let's bring it all home and talk about why we're doing this in the first place, to make our words truly matter. Because here's the absolute truth. All of these techniques we've talked about, they're just tools. And if you're using them to perform or to manipulate someone, they're completely worthless. Real communication, the kind that changes things, isn't about getting information from your brain to theirs. It's about building a bridge from your heart to theirs. At the end of the day, the goal isn't to be some perfect, flawless speaker. It's to be an authentic one, to be fully present with the person in front of you, to be real. People don't connect with a perfect script. They connect with a genuine human being. Your real power comes from making another person feel seen, feel heard, and feel understood. When you master these skills, you don't just become a better communicator. You become the kind of person who makes other people feel important. And that is an incredible gift to give. So I'll just leave you with this one question. The world is waiting to hear you. What are you going to say?